The story begins with a father and his daughter who love each other very much. The little girl promises her father that she will marry him when she grows up and won't pay attention to any boy. Upon hearing these words, the father feels very happy. But 10 years later, the man looks back on that promise with great nostalgia because now his daughter doesn't even talk to him anymore. He doesn't know at what point in his life all the love he had for his daughter faded away. Time passed so quickly that he didn't realize his little girl was no longer the same as before. Now that she's a teenager, she acts like she hates him. In the morning, they both have very similar routes to go to school and work, but she does nothing but ignore him and walks away from him. Her father doesn't know how to confront her, so he simply stops trying to get close to his daughter. Later, when Wan Zhong arrives at school, she falls down and the boy she likes sees her lying there looking pathetic. She runs away embarrassed, but after classes, the handsome boy approaches her and invites her to a music audition. On Monday, he tells her she can't miss it because he'll be waiting for her. She gets really excited because she'll be with the boy she likes. But at that moment, her father arrives and asks her why she's so happy. She becomes serious and tells him not to meddle in things that don't concern him. At night, everyone goes to visit the grandfather. He had recently suffered a heart attack, so they needed to take care of him. But Wan Zhong had to go to school the next day, so her father had to take her home. However, she gets upset and wants to walk home by herself. Because of this, her father follows her until they reach a big tree that is over 100 years old. Her father asks her why she's acting like that, but his daughter doesn't want to listen and puts on her headphones. However, Mr. Wan, angry, throws them away and breaks them. He tells his daughter to put herself in his shoes, since she doesn't know what it's like to have a disrespectful daughter. When she hears this, she gets even angrier and tells him that he should also put himself in her shoes so he can understand that things aren't the way he thinks they are. At that moment, the grandfather appears and says that there's a legend about that tree. If you make a wish at its base, it will come true. But there was no one to listen to his old story because the two of them had already left. On their way home, they have an accident, but apparently they weren't seriously hurt. But when he wakes up, Mr. Wan doesn't feel normal, and when he looks in the mirror, he gets really scared. Then, when he sees his body, he thinks it's all a dream, but his father pinches him to confirm that it's not. Then he thinks it must be something medical and that they should tell a doctor. But if they do, people would probably think they're crazy. So they decide to go to a friend's clinic instead. He was a very well-known psychiatrist, but he doesn't believe a single word they're saying. He thinks it's a joke from his friend, and that if he believes him, he'll just laugh in his face. But Mr. Wan reveals one secret after another. Because of this, the doctor thinks he teamed up with his daughter to trick him. So it doesn't matter what the girl says. He doesn't believe her, and when he gets tired, he calls his secretary and asks her to kick them out. Angry, they go to a supermarket. Mr. Wan wanted a beer, but since he's in his daughter's body, he can't drink alcohol. No matter how much he explains to the cashier doesn't believe him and says he can't sell alcohol to a minor. What's more, he starts scolding Wan Zhong for allowing his daughter to behave like that. At night, he promises not to tell his mother anything, so she won't worry. So did you want to have a beer with your husband, Delviers? Mr. Wan reacts instinctively and his mother is left very confused, but they manage to save the situation by pretending that it's all a joke. After dinner, Wan Zhong realizes that his father is practically blind because he can barely see his phone. When they go to bed, his mother wants to get romantic and tells him that she's very hot and wants some affection. But before she can go any further, she falls asleep and Wan Zhong feels relieved, because that would have been very traumatic. The next day, they begin investigating, but despite searching, find nothing concrete. Luckily, Wan Zhong heard what her grandfather said and thinks that the legend might be true, so they decide to call him. And he tells them that those things about switching bodies happen sometimes. And usually everything goes back to normal in 7 days unless something bad happens, or they get stuck in each other's bodies. So now all they have to do is get along and wait 7 days. Until then, they have to put themselves in each other's shoes. When Monday comes, Mr. Wan has to act like a teenager, and Wan Zhong has to act like an office worker. Before they split up, they both give each other instructions. For example, Wan Zhong tells his father to sound cooler and to say more trendy phrases. But here, it's different. The father is confused. What about his house? Still, they make it there in the end. For his part, Mr. Wan tells his daughter that she just needs to bow her head and say she'll do her best. She should never say she'll take responsibility for others. When he arrives at the school, Mr. Wan can't help but walk like a man. Before going in, he tells himself that he's already been through this and that going back to school is a piece of cake. Won Jong, for his part, tries not to draw attention, but he notices that everyone greets him, so he thinks his father must have some important position. But in reality, they were greeting her superior, who was right behind her. When she gets to her office, she realizes she has a modest position. His office and his team's office were in the middle of a warehouse. Also, he realizes that his subordinates don't appreciate him very much. In fact, it seems they don't like him at all. She sits down and tries to play it cool, but the reality is that no one pays much attention to her. For his part, Mr. Won decides to sit with the class nerd, thinking that this way he could help improve his daughter's grades. Suddenly, Won's friend arrives and asks him for help to sneak away with her boyfriend over the weekend. If he helps her, she will also help him with the guy he likes. When he hears this, Mr. Won gets upset and decides to go to the audition to scare away the guy his daughter likes. He was the most popular guy in school and many girls were after him. Because of that, he wants to sing a song to make it clear that he isn't interested in anyone. But he sings it so well that everyone is enchanted and they ask him for the name of the song. For his part, Won Jong was having a tough day at work. No one was saying anything to him, and he was only just finding out what was going on. That day, they were choosing a celebrity for their next advertising campaign. But Won Jong thinks he's too old and that they should look for someone younger who connects with the youth. Mrs. Na says that maybe they should reconsider it. Her subordinates don't want to work on it anymore. Afterwards, they have dinner with a partner, but he's one of those guys who forces his employees to drink. He gets drunk really quickly. Since Won couldn't drink, the partner gets very upset and says he can't trust a man who doesn't drink. Because of that, Won Jong decides to go out and sing and show off his provocative dance moves so that the partner would stop pressuring him so much. Later, the partner wants Mrs. Na to serve him some drinks, since she was the only woman at the meeting. She agrees since she didn't want to lose that contract, but then the man makes a very inappropriate comment. He says that nowadays women think everything is harassment, and you can't make jokes like you used to. For example, he asked his assistant if her back didn't hurt from carrying such huge melons. Because of that, she reported him for harassment, and now he can't go near any of his female employees. Ms. Na can't say anything, so she just laughs. But then the man says she has a very curvy body and asks how she's doing. Everyone was very uncomfortable, but they couldn't say anything to him. Luckily, Won Jong had recorded everything and uploaded it to the internet so he could be called out on social media. Mrs. Na was very happy and the partner finally shut his mouth. When she gets home, she sees an affectionate girl greet her father. This reminds her of how she did the same as a child. Besides, she starts thinking that her father is getting older and time is against him. When she gets home, she meets her father, and he scolds her for coming home late. She tells him that she just went to a business dinner, and that she didn't do anything wrong. But when he checks her phone, he sees how she had danced in front of everyone. But he can't get mad at her because if he does, they won't be able to switch bodies. The next day, Mr. Won was fed up with skirts, so he buys himself a pair of pants and now he can walk without being afraid that his underwear will show. Won Jong also goes shopping, but his superior asks to see him. He tells him that the video went viral, and because of that, the partner canceled the contract. So to get it back, he must delete it and go beg for forgiveness. Won Jong tells him no because he didn't do anything wrong. He just protected his subordinate's dignity. Meanwhile, Mr. Won finds out that he would have an exam the next day since now the subjects are more difficult. He decides to ask the class nerd to study together, but she says no. So he decides to offer her money, but she rejects his offer again. When it seems like he gave up, the girl from his class tells him that she'll accept soup and some soda. Later, Mrs. Na takes Won to a bar because she wanted to thank him for defending her. At the business dinner, Won Jong tells her that he just did the right thing. Then she sees her nails and is fascinated because Mrs. Na did them just by watching a tutorial. Meanwhile, the nerd had gone to study at Mr. Won's house. He was happy because they would study all night, and that way they would get good grades. After all, her only obligation is to study. Later, Won arrives home, and when he sees his best friend, he can't help but greet her, just like he always did. She recognizes the greeting and unconsciously returns it. After that awkward moment, Mr. Won takes his daughter away to scold her for spending his money. She tells him that she only bought a few things she needs, and besides, she deserves it because she has worked hard. The next day, she will take the exam. Mr. Won thought it would be easy because he had studied all night. But in the first test, he only answers the first question, and in the second one, he doesn't do any better. Meanwhile, Wanjong secretly meets with a subordinate. He thought he wanted to hit him or something like that, so he kept his distance, but actually he just wanted to ask him for advice. He confesses that everyone in the office hates him, especially Mrs. Na, but suddenly she adores him, so he wants help to win her heart. Advice on how to get closer to her and make a better impression, since he doesn't even know how to talk to her. One asks for his phone, and that's when he discovers the problem. He sends her very dry messages and beats around the bush too much. He tells him that at his age, it's best to be direct. So he sends her a lot of messages, just like young people in love do. In the afternoon when he gets home, Wanjong asks his father how his exam went. He tells him it was easy and that he doesn't understand why he complains so much. Then she gets a message where the boy she likes asks her out on a date. She gets very excited and the next day asks her father to please go, but he doesn't want to because it would be very awkward. Later, Mr. Yoon kept sending messages to Mrs. Na, but she got tired of it and asked him to stop. This confuses him a lot and he asks Won for advice, but she didn't know what to say anymore. Then she tells him that later there will be a clearance sale on TV. For his part, Mr. Won finds out that his grades were terrible. He had dropped 3 places in the ranking. His friend, who didn't study, went up 2 places, and the nerd who studied really hard ended up last. Mr. Won tries to comfort her, but apparently she had always been last in the class. No matter how much she studied, she never managed to get good grades. Mr. Won tells her that she doesn't need good grades to be happy. What's important is that she really tries her best. Meanwhile, at the company, they find out that the marketing team had an issue and that one of them has to go out to make the sales. But nobody wanted to do it, so they send Wanjong. Since she seemed very enthusiastic when announcing the products. She does it splendidly, since being a teenager, she knew all the beauty products. Also, her favorite color was there, so she decides to use it in front of the camera. And since it comes out so naturally for her, everyone thinks it's the best product, and because of that, sales skyrocket. He was being scolded by his teacher, and since in his time punishment was physical, he gets into position to be hit. The teacher tells him that they don't do that anymore, that now they just call the parents to inform them. Meanwhile, Wanjong was being praised since they had sold absolutely everything. Before leaving, Mr. Young asks her for advice to fix his relationship, since now Mrs. Na doesn't even want to receive his messages. Because of that, she tells him to stop beating around the bush, man up, and confess to her. After all, he has nothing left to lose. He gathers his courage and wants to confess his feelings, but Mrs. Na intimidates him a lot. So he turns around and tells her that he likes her. But she had already left, although she heard everything, and she can't help but smile. For his part, Wanjong arrives at the school and starts punishing his father. The teacher stops him and tells him it's not that serious, but he keeps repeating what he thinks. His father always tells him that he can't get bad grades because his only obligation is to study. Mr. Won understands the mistake he made and replies that his happiness doesn't depend on grades. When he calms down, Wanjong apologizes to his father and says he went too far. But since his grades dropped, he has to go to the date with the boy he likes. Her father can't say no to her, so she puts on makeup and makes herself look pretty. To meet her future son-in-law, the boy invited her to a record store. Wanjong doesn't like those places, but her father does. While she's talking with the boy, she realizes they have very similar musical tastes. Because of that, the boy falls in love with her. When they return home, the boy carries her and Mr. Won falls asleep in his arms. Wanjong was very jealous because it should have been her. When the boy is about to say goodbye properly as she's waking up, Wanjong has to intervene and introduces himself to him as her father. He grabs her hand and tells him he can't kiss her. Wait a few days and then you can do many things, maybe even get married. Mr. Won wants them to leave right away, but his daughter doesn't waste the opportunity and takes him by the hand to her house. The guy finds it really weird, but he goes along with his future father-in-law. Then Wanjong starts crying because her first date was with her father. Because of that, Mr. Won takes her to the second floor and makes her say goodbye in a romantic way, since it was dark. Since it was dark, the guy wouldn't be able to see and would think it's her leaving the next day. Mr. Won has a very important presentation. That's why he asks his daughter to read the script he prepared and to be very careful. When it's time to present his project, he reads exactly as it was written, because his next promotion depended on it. But the product was too expensive. Also, it was aimed at teenagers, And to get them to buy it, they would use celebrities. After finishing reading, Wanjong says it won't sell. The company president asks why, and Wanjong is honest and says that teenage girls aren't as dumb as they think. They won't buy something so expensive just because their favorite idol is promoting it. She tells him that their products are very good, and that they should lower the prices or make better offers to increase their sales. That way, when those teenage girls grow up, they'll keep buying their products and will also buy them for their future daughters. The whole room falls silent, and the president of the company says she's right, then he just leaves. Later, Mr. One arrives and starts chasing his daughter. She tries to apologize, but her father tells her that now not only will he lose his job, but many other people will too. His daughter tells him that she doesn't regret it because she did the right thing and is willing to accept the consequences. Later, Mr. One was very depressed, so he goes to his friend's office to talk to him. But once again, his friend doesn't believe him. So he decides to do the dance that only the two of them know. He does it so well that his friend has no choice but to believe him. Then he starts telling him that now he understands his daughter better. School is not as easy as he thought, and demanding excellent grades from her is too much pressure. His friend suggests he use this chance to bond better with his daughter when they switch bodies. The next day, Wanjong receives a call and quickly goes to the office. Apparently, the whole team had been fired. She realizes that because of her actions, many people lost their jobs. So she goes to the president and begs him for a second chance, but he tells her no because she has to take responsibility for what she said. As she leaves, Mr. One was on his bicycle trying to prevent his daughter from doing something crazy, but the president ended up running her over. Because of that, she falls into a coma for a few days. Wanjong felt really bad because both her body and her father were in danger. While checking her phone, she realized how badly she had treated him. So she goes to talk to him and tells him that she never hated him, but rather felt sorry for not meeting his expectations. That's why she couldn't talk to him like before, because she thought she wasn't the daughter her father deserved. That's why now she promises to change her attitude and not avoid him all the time like she used to. After sleeping, One wakes up in his own body, and Mr. One also gets his back. When they see themselves in their own bodies, they hug each other and finally reconcile. A few days later, Mr. One gets his job back and his daughter treats him better now. They communicate more, although Mr. One doesn't like at all that his daughter now has a boyfriend. In the final scene, we see the family going to visit the grandfather. They wait for him under that wish-granting tree. Mr. One's wife starts complaining to him for being so busy with work and not paying attention to her. He replies that he doesn't have as much free time as she does. His wife tells him that household chores are just as hard, if not harder, even if they're unnoticed. Mr. One tells her that's not true, since all she has to do is clean a little and then she watches soap operas. Because of that, they both say they wish they could walk in each other's shoes so they could see it's not like that. Since they were at the wish-granting tree, soon both of them will also switch bodies. That's how this touching story ends. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I really liked it because it's not easy to put yourself in someone else's shoes. If you have your dad, give him a hug.
No, el día de hoy, porque tal vez tuvo un día pesado y un abrazo podría animarlo.
I hope you enjoyed this summary. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. See you in the next story.
Dad, go away. I love you. I love you.
사랑해요.